Some people believe all you need to win a fight is a jacked physique. Sure, having massive functional muscle can definitely give you an edge in terms of strength.
Not at all. Oh, big right hand!
But if you overdo it, those big muscles can actually work against you, especially in longer fights.
But just look at the meat and the veins.
Those big muscles eat up energy fast and need a lot more oxygen to keep going, which means if you don't pace yourself, you'll gas out quickly. So what really happens when bodybuilders or strongmen step into MMA? Are these muscle-packed fighters actually a serious threat? Or does brute strength fall short in real combat? Let's find out. But before we dive deeper, please consider using your hype feature on this video. It will help support your favorite fighters and help us to keep creating content. We'll kick things off with Zdravko Tarniev, who strutted in against Aitor Gaspar like a villain designed by someone whose only life influences were protein shakes and questionable tattoo artists. A hulking slab of inked-up ego, he walked toward the cage like the script already had him winning the main event. That smug expression followed him into the cage like a bad decision you keep defending. And just like every bad decision, it didn't take long to explode spectacularly. When the bell rang, karma punched in early for its shift, and it wasn't there to negotiate. And what came next was pure poetic justice. That wasn't the end of their rivalry, however. Tarniev and Gaspar ran it back for a rematch, and this time, Zdravko came in looking like a completely different man. No smug grin or no cocky posturing. He had the dead serious face of a guy who knew losing twice in a row to the same opponent would be a career meme waiting to happen. The fight started with Gaspar pulling out a wild flying knee right off the bat, like he wanted to end the night early. But then, for reasons only his corner might understand, he decided to shoot for a takedown against a powerhouse like Zdravko. It was like trying to tackle a moving refrigerator. Zdravko locked him up tight, and no amount of wriggling was going to save Gaspar from that grip. After a bit of control time, Zdravko flipped the switch and started unloading ground and pound like a man possessed. The shots came down heavy, one after another, until the ref had seen enough and jumped in to stop it. In 2008, Kirill Sidelnikov, Fedor Emelianenko's young protege and a cold-blooded finisher, walked in radiating supreme confidence. But across from him stood Martin Sultic, who was a 275-pound slab of Slovakian concrete, who decided to kick things off with a little extra seasoning. Right at the start, he cracked Kirill with a sucker punch, setting the tone for what looked like a wild brawl.
Heavyweights, but you already figured that out. Sultic in the black with the white.
The cocky block of beef didn't stop there. He kept hammering away with heavy shots, swinging like a man desperate to prove a point.
Sultic coming out like a fireball. Big right hands, avoiding the big strikes.
Huge right hand by Sultic.
But Sultic's storm ended as quickly as it began. Kirill fired back with a laser-straight right hand that detonated on the big man's chin, and Sultic collapsed like a barbell after a failed deadlift.
Not at all.
Oh, big right hands punch, and that's
it.
Stopping the fight.
And
Now let's travel back to MMA Attack 2, where the Lithuanian beef block Robert Bernika faced off against Marcin Najman. Bernika, built like a gym statue that came to life, started things with some cocky showboating, daring Najman to stand and trade, fully aware that cardio wasn't exactly his best friend. When the fist finally flew, Bernika didn't just step forward, he charged in like a tank, throwing punches powered by every kilo he'd ever lifted in his life.
Zalecałbym jednakowoż ostrożność w tym bieganiu za Najmanem.
By the end of the first round, it looked less like an MMA fight and more like two aunties brawling over the last remaining article at a sale.
Emocje publiczności. Skoczyła adrenalina. Zapomnieli się, że to już...
In round 2, Bernika landed a massive right hand, followed by a flurry of ground and pound to end the circus in violent fashion.
Jest szansa dla Burnejki w tej chwili, żeby zaatakować.
Burnejka idzie po swoje pierwsze zawodowe zwycięstwo. Koniec! Było poddanie! Hardkorowy koksu!
Next up, we've got Robert Bernika's second MMA showdown. And if his first fight was a chaotic gym brawl, this one was straight out of a slapstick action movie. Bernika made his entrance like a celebrity stepping onto a red carpet, with rappers hyping him up and muscles on full display as he marched through the crowd like he was about to headline the UFC. Once the fight started, Bernika came in with the same plan as always: smash first and breathe later. He charged forward like a freight train with no brakes, while his opponent, David Odoba, seemed to have signed up for a track meet instead of a fist fight. After a minute of Bernika's bull rushes, Odoba finally found a gap and cracked him clean on the chin, even dropping the Lithuanian strongman for a moment. But Bernika popped back up like a stubborn boss in a video game and kept chasing. The problem was that Bernika's gas tank was evaporating fast, and Odoba clearly wanted no part of any close-range action. Round 2 was déjà vu, but with more running, more charging, and more missed connections. And Odoba was warned for stalling. They tangled up briefly, but moments later, Bernika left his chin hanging out like a hit me sign, and Odoba clipped him clean again, dropping him to the canvas. By round 3, the whole thing had turned into a circus. Bernika was exhausted, plodding forward like a tired bouncer, while Odoba was basically doing cardio around the cage. The crowd was fed up, the ref was fed up, and finally, the referee stepped in and disqualified Odoba for refusing to actually fight. After a tough loss in June 2009 to a 48-year-old former boxer, Sylvia was back against 5-time World's Strongest Man champion Mariusz Pudzianowski. Many expected the hulking block of meat to annihilate the former UFC champ, but the MMA veteran would prove that size doesn't always matter. From the moment they touched gloves, it was clear this was a mismatch in every sense. Sylvia's experience and technique stood in sharp contrast to Pudzianowski's raw power, as he used a stiff jab and brutal knees that had the Polish strongman in some trouble.
Mówił, Mariusz będzie kopał w sposób na zwycięstwo w tej walce.
Pudzianowski kept desperately diving for takedowns, but nothing worked. His legendary strength meant little against Sylvia's size, skill, and composure, and fatigue quickly began to set in.
Próba zejścia do parteru przez Mariusza, dojście do klinczu.
Sylvia closed the first round in dominant fashion, raining down heavy punches while driving his knee into Pudzianowski's midsection.
Pierwszą rundę, kolano na brzucho, możliwość przejścia do dosiadu.
Mariusz powinien wytrzymać.
By the second round, the Polish powerhouse was completely gassed. With nowhere to go, he collapsed onto his back, and Sylvia followed him to the mat to finish the job in style.
Widziałem, że Japończyk kopał i Pudzianowski odczuwał te ciosy. Dobra, czyżby do klucza? Nie. Sylwia będzie jednak próbował kończyć tę walkę ciosami.
I klepie Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Pudzianowski wasn't always the nail, however. In May 2022, the Polish MMA scene saw a clash of gym titans as Pudzianowski faced Michal the Pitbull. Materla entered the cage at KSW 70. Materla's confidence was built on years of battle, with each tattoo and scar telling a story. But the former strongman champion turned MMA powerhouse was confident that his protein-backed power was going to be the difference. As the bell rang, Materla relied on his veteran composure, cautiously reading Pudzianowski's movements and testing the range.
Come here and win,
But Pudzianowski came forward like a force of nature, determined to assert his physical dominance.
nice and steady, and just look at Pudzianowski bring the action.
The fight heated up quickly, and then came a controversial moment. A low knee from Pudzianowski that left Materla in some discomfort.
There's a grab for the takedown and the knee strike. I mean, there's some skills.
If either guy gets put on their back, it could be a very...
Once the fight resumed, Pudzianowski uncorked a thunderous right hand that crashed into Materla, sending him sprawling to the canvas.
But just look at the meat and the It's a knockdown!
The arena fell into stunned silence as medics rushed in. Just like that, Materla's night was over. If only there were a way to beef up chins, right? Maybe that's where a little body fat comes in handy, acting like natural padding. And the next fight between the jacked Ivan Sturkoff and the not-so-jacked Usbasi Inoto might just prove that theory once again. Right from the start, the gym bro flexed his strength with a powerful takedown and heavy ground and pound.
Да, уже сколько российских бойцов узнали на себе, что такое намота, ну и
перевод от Сturkoff, ну и
да.
вот то, о чем говорили многие эксперты перед боем в плане физической силы.
But his grappling heavy style quickly came back to haunt him, as he was left gasping for air the moment they stood up again.
Пытается сейчас забрать шею Usbasi, Иван ему это сделать не...
Nevertheless, Ivan kept muscling through and secured more takedowns throughout round one.
Sturkoff в этой весовой категории пошел в ногу, есть еще один тейкдаун.
By round two, though, the muscle mountain had turned into a wheezing hill, and Usbasi made him pay by lighting him up on the feet.
Видно, что он...
Moments later, the crafty vet dragged him to the mat and choked him out like a pro.
Правильно делает, контролирует руку соперника.
Его
Вот
сейчас
сейчас
забирают вроде
отпустил.
бы. Плохая ситуация для Sturkoff, необходимо снять. Все.
Сдается Иван.
Bob Sapp is one of those fighters who make you do a double take when you see his record. A man that massive with arms like tree trunks seems like he should be bulldozing opponents left and right. But size doesn't always equal skill, and his fight with the smaller Sultic Usbasi proved it again. Right from the bell, Usbasi charged at Sapp like a pit bull going after a bloodthirsty Doberman.
Catching a lot of shots in the head, and there's a low kick. Sapp firing back. Look at how little the gloves look on the massive hands of Bob Sapp. A little bit hesitant to come in. Lands a big overhand right on Sapp. Sapp throwing...
The smaller man showed no fear, and it didn't take long before he landed a nasty leg kick that dropped the towering American to the canvas.
I could barely even hear myself think, and he hit him and he was down!
Usbasi even threw an illegal shot while Sapp was down, but the damage was already done. Sapp refused to get back up. His corner threw in the towel and the referee waved it off.
Has done professional wrestling before, but, well, there comes the towel.
Just like that, one of the most iconic muscle freaks was chopped down by a more determined, better-conditioned opponent. The long-hyped showdown between Hafthor Bjornson and Eddie Hall wasn't just another boxing match. It was a collision between two real-life giants. Both men had once held the World's Strongest Man title, and now they were stepping out of the weight room and into the ring to prove who truly reigned supreme. From the opening bell, Hall came storming forward, wearing a mischievous grin and swinging like he wanted to end things before Thor could even settle in.
This is what he did. Gabba's going to switch to southpaw to try there from Eddie.
And for a moment, it looked like that plan might work. A thunderous punch from Hall dropped Thor to the canvas.
Round two.
Oh, big punch!
And what a lovely solid right.
But the Icelander wasn't about to fold.
His own there, Thor. He felt that. He felt that.
He gathered himself and began using his length and sharp left hand to chip away at Hall's early momentum. Midway through, Thor landed a crisp left that flipped the script entirely.
Eddie needs a bit of an attack.
He's only halfway through.
You got a minute, even
From there, it was all Bjornson. He methodically punished Hall with a mix of reach, timing, and power, proving he wasn't just a mountain of muscle, he could box.
To be fair, but his legs are going to be...
In the end, Bjornson won by a decision. So that's how bodybuilders stacked up when they stepped into the world of MMA. Who, in your opinion, did best? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.